In one moment you can have it all, and in the next you might.
They survived the battlegrounds of war, only to face their hardest fight back home in Oregon. Today we're talking about this dish and how to make the best lamb skewers and tzatziki sauce you've ever had. From combat photos to finding connection on the back roads, this is a conversation about service, struggle, and healing. And sometimes all you need is good food and a listening ear.
It was lonely, it was hard, and it was dark as it could be. Oh, but it was turning pain into purpose for me.
Welcome to this episode of What Do You Want to Cook? I'm Chef Chris Holen. We're in the Next Studios here in Astoria, Oregon. And we just finished cooking. We're enjoying a wonderful meal with some new friends here. One I've known for a long time, Matt Zedwick. How are you? Say hello. Brad Pietzyk.
That's right.
All right, and Sean Davis over here. We're talking about homegrown lamb and on tzatziki sauce and pita and cabbage. But more importantly, I want to have a conversation about veteran suicide prevention, post-service. Brad and Sean, so you have recently finished a documentary,
Yes,
titled Battlegrounds and Backroads, where you explored Oregon and talked to a lot of veterans along the way, along with a number of other people. Tell me about your documentary.
Well, it's a 52-minute documentary in which we interview, like you said, people all over the state of Oregon, some of them experts, some of them have told us their own stories. And
a Gold Star mother who lost her son to suicide, a Gold Star wife who, and how I met her is we had done a Veterans Day event at 10:15 last year, and the paper wrote a story about us, and I went to Fred Meyer's to get a couple of those papers, and she was the cashier, and she's like, "Why are you buying all these papers?" And I'm like, well, and I explained that we're doing this event to try to stop veteran suicide. And she looked at me, she's like, well, my husband was one of the 22 a day. And I was like, it just showed me like it could happen. It could be anywhere, anybody, and it's really prevalent. And like I said, Oregon is always really high on all of this. It's in the top 5 for states for veteran suicide in rural areas. And so that's what we were trying to figure out why. And so we jumped in his Bronco and we drove 4,000 miles and talk to people. And we had pretty much the same answers over and over again.
yeah, we heard a lot that veterans' complaints with when they first got out of the military was they felt like they had no purpose, they no longer had an identity. These are all things that you're almost issued at basic training when you get them. And
they're gone, and they moved to rural Oregon, where there's a high gun culture, drinking culture, and you don't have your battle buddies anymore, and you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing. And then also haunted with, sometimes PTSD or depression. And so talking to people, we learned like what we a couple solutions is to get people, veterans, more engaged in their communities. I think it's all about community. That's why I was really excited to come on this, because I know you're all about community too, watching the show.
oh yeah, just your intro, you talk about community.
Yeah, that cut intro that you do, I love it.
Yeah.
All over.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to plug that in.
Good.
Into the finished product.
Good.
I promise.
Good. And I should mention, you're asking us about the documentary, but Matt's also in it. Matt did music for the documentary, the song during the credits.
And that's at the end, but everybody sits there until the song is over. So and they love the song. We've only shown it twice so far. And the first time was in Denver at Together with Veterans National Conference, and we got a standing ovation. I said a 5-minute standing ovation. He said, no, it's not, but it just seemed like a long time sitting there.
It was big. It felt big.
Probably 30 seconds. But, and then we did it again in Bend at the Women's Veterans Conference out there, and they loved it. And in attendance was the head of the Oregon Emergency Management Department, the head of the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs, and everybody just loved it, and it was really cool. And we were down yesterday presenting to the State Senate Committee for Veterans, Emergency Management, and World
Affairs.
and Federal Affairs.
Yes.
Federal and World Affairs. And
He can do a lot.
he could do a lot. The chairman, Senator Manning, he's a state senator. He's like, I want to show this to the entire legislature. So it's
That's
really
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Man.
And if you guys don't know, Z and I served together in Iraq. In fact, we were in a pretty bad ambush in Taji, and you pulled me out of the Humvee.
I did.
So thanks.
And then you moved to Astoria and bought our old house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're shooting a documentary, and man, it's just 100% like the whole circle's like come back together. And
Yeah.
you linked me up with Creative Vets to team up and write the song,
Yeah.
and the song that I wrote is exactly what you just spoke about community and purpose. And the song itself is called "Pain into Purpose."
Yeah. And that fit
So
amazing.
we didn't even plan it.
Yeah.
No.
This work, but
yeah.
that's the thing. So we're talking to people across rural Oregon, and they all have the same reasons why veteran suicide might happen, but they also have the same solutions, and it's like community. Community is huge, and so that's why we're trying to not only we have a community here. We have Veterans Coffee every Thursday at the Elks from 9 to 11 at the Elks Lodge downtown here in Astoria. We do things like we're doing the Columbia Crossing 10K, which I understand you guys are
Oh,
doing.
heck yeah.
You guys are walking it too?
We're going to walk it.
I tried
I
to
might
start,
skip it.
I
thinking about
started
skipping.
running, and I was going to the
Like,
high,
not skip, not miss it, but it's just skip across.
Yeah, the jump.
Jump rope.
I went to the high school track, and I'm running, and I'm like, no. But
Okay.
finally, a Vietnam vet joined to do it, and he's like, I'm going to walk. I'm like, I'll walk with you in solidarity.
I am there
Yeah.
with that walk.
Yeah.
Maybe a cartwheel at the end.
Oh, that'd
Just
be good. That'd be nice.
So
Yeah.
we talk about the documentary and community, and I'm kind of a case study in how these things work because I've been through some pretty rough times myself. And my therapist said, there's a veteran coffee breakfast going on right now up the hill. If we cut our session short, you can go there. You need to meet these guys. And when I was there, I met Josh Davis, the veteran service officer at the time, and he introduced me to Sean. He introduced me to Donna Marie Drucker, who was Together with Veterans, who we work with, and is in the documentary. And that was the moment when I started getting out of my shell, started calling myself a veteran, and joining the veteran community. And I'm doing so much better now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because when we first started off on this, we were like, we're going to help some veteran that we don't know about, that we don't know their name or their face. And what we realized is like, this helped us. I mean, it is exactly what we were trying to do is create community. And so we kept going from that. So we have a radio show on KMUN now, the community radio,
What's it called?
Rogue Cell Radio. And
Rogue Cell Radio.
Yeah.
That's
And
your
that's right,
your,
Rogue
your
Cell.
production company, right?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
our little...
it's
yeah,
our
we're-
everything.
It's
Yeah.
your everything, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the fourth Thursday of every month at 9 o'clock. And then we
Right
also
there
have
in
a
our vet
podcast.
coffee at the Elks.
Yeah, right there in our vet coffee.
And I think you can also you can listen to the show online as well. So if you don't live here, you don't have access to radio. I
Mhm.
believe they stream it.
Yeah, we have a podcast, and it's anywhere you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever. So,
That's
and we interview a lot of amazing vets, but also it's about community. Like we interviewed Commissioner Andy Davis here, and we interviewed an amazing general who had bipolar disorder and during the war, and his interview was so great. We interviewed Donna Marie Drucker, who is the executive director, but she's not a veteran herself, but she is just a really amazing powerhouse. And I don't know, we have probably 20, 30 episodes already.
Oh, I have no idea.
That's amazing, right?
There's some gaps in there.
Yeah.
But I would like to tell one story about the kinds of things that
Good, because I
we
want
do.
to eat.
Yeah, take a
eat
bite.
this.
Everybody take a bite because
Take a
this
bite.
will
Tell a
take a
story.
little bit. So one of the people we interviewed, Sean mentioned a Gold Star mother, and we didn't talk about what that meant. That means that they, in the case of a Gold Star mother, she lost a son or a daughter, and this one was she lost her son to suicide. And she's in our documentary. And she told me over text one day, because we've stayed in touch with her. We text pretty often now. And she said, oh, Gary Sinise is going to be in town in Klamath Falls where she was at. And to those that don't know, he does a lot of veteran outreach. And
Lieutenant Dan Band.
the Gary Sinise and the Lieutenant Dan Band.
Okay.
So I shot some emails off, and I rarely put my whole title in emails, but it's like, all right, we're going to talk officer to officer here, and talked with their public relations team down at the Air Force base or Air Guard base that's down there, and 12 hours later, she was watching the Lieutenant Dan Band.
And stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
we went to that national conference in Denver, and they had a guest speaker.
It's my turn for it, but
Del
you got to
Toro,
think
what
of
was
it.
his first name?
Israel Del Toro.
Israel Del Toro. And he was in a bad accident. He was Special Forces, Air Force. 80% of his body was burned, and they'd say, you're never going to breathe without assistance. You're not going to be able to walk. You can't do this. He did it. He did it all. And he joined the Air Force again. He was jumping out of planes again, you know. And so we talked to him, and we had a friend here in Astoria who was Special Forces Air Force, and he's just not doing very well. And so we linked them up. We haven't seen what happened yet, but so far so good, and we're really excited. So, you know, doing these things and helping people is just really amazing, and that's what really helps me out, because after I got back from, I was in Haiti in '95 during Operation Uphold Democracy, and that was horrible. And I was in Iraq, and I was critically injured in the ambush. And then when I was able to walk again, I went down to Katrina, New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. It was horrible. So when I got through all of that, I was a wreck, and I didn't know what the heck I was going to do anymore. And it was really, art was really huge in my healing, but also getting out there and helping other people. And that's what we keep doing. It's been 20 years, and I'm not stopping.
It's a purpose.
Yeah, it's purpose.
It's a purpose. I saw on your documentary, I haven't watched the whole thing, but I watched a couple of the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something super profound on there that really stuck with me. You know, a lot of people, I didn't serve, but I think a lot of people don't know how to speak to veterans, I guess, or what do you say, right? You know, and you know, but there was something that on there that really struck me, and it wasn't like, you know, me saying, how can I help you, but me saying, how can you help me?
Yeah, I got a mission for you. That's all you got to say.
That's all we need are missions.
Mission oriented, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. It's a purpose and a mission.
Well, we're so proud, you know, and we're always like, rub some dirt on it, you know, take a knee, breathe through your nose, it'll be fine. But sometimes that doesn't work, you know. But having a mission is, you know, having a purpose. That is just really amazing, and it helps so many people. Yeah.
It does. I would say, like, one thing I've recognized even through my own healing process, community, being close to you, Sean, and a lot of our guys from our units.
Yeah.
When we got back home.
We're so lucky we're National Guard.
Man. Yeah, we're blessed, dude. That was probably the best thing, that we could call each other up and instantly just hang out.
Yeah.
And there's something unique about veterans in that when you talk about community, like when you put on the uniform and we're serving together, it's not just community, it's also part of our identity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get out and that disappears, because it's actually pretty fun getting out. You have this honeymoon phase, like, hey, get a party,
I don't have
let's
to
go
shave.
have fun. I don't have to show up.
You're not going to make me
That was
run
No,
not
show
my
up at
experience.
5:30 PT formation, and it's great for like the first 6 months, but then it really starts hitting home, and you start feeling really alone. Even with my spouse, my wife, and she's amazing.
Well,
But
because you
there's
didn't
just-
trauma bond with her the same way you did
Yeah.
with us.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. But when you lose that identity in that community and you start feeling alone, especially when you go out to like rural Oregon, now you're really alone. Now you're away from the group, like, you know, they don't have what we had. We saw that with a lot of our guys too when they left outside of where we were centralized, even after Iraq. Those are the guys that actually suffered the most. And I love what these two guys are doing because it's really profound. They're bringing people like back into the fold, veterans back into the fold.
Yep. So our veteran
awesome.
coffee, we got people that come in there. They're like, from Vietnam. Like, I never called myself a veteran because I just got back and the country didn't treat me very well, and I just didn't want to have that identity. But I wanted to see what you guys were about. But now they're there every week, and they have that camaraderie again. And that makes it all worth it. Just one person tell you that. It's pretty amazing.
He uses the word community to describe it.
Yeah. A lot of good guys. And it's growing. We just added another team member on Rogue Cell, and he's doing some stuff with us, and just
working on another one after that, too.
Yeah, it's working. It's working. When are you going to join, Z?
Yeah. When are you
I already did.
Well, you're
You
here.
got
Yeah,
the
you're
uniform
right
on.
now.
I know, yeah, right?
We're all in uniform.
It's the uniform. You guys, thank you so much
Oh, thank
for coming
you.
on the show. I think
It's been a pleasure.
it's been an absolute
It was
pleasure.
worth it for the tzatziki
For
sauce.
the
alone, I
tzatziki
got
sauce
it.
alone.
I'm behind.
I think as we discussed before, we shot this out of order, so you have to follow along. So I guess now I could say we're going to get in the kitchen.
All right.
And show everybody
Let's do it again.
how to make this.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it at home. Give you a few cooking tips along the way. Maybe maybe these guys will share some crazy food stories about their adventures on behalf of the United States government.
I have a feeling.
And
Maybe.
and everybody, thanks so much for watching. We're going to get in the kitchen right after this.
Hot chow.
My name is Chris Holen. For the past 25 years, I've had the privilege of calling Astoria, Oregon home. It's a place that's authentically reinventing itself and bringing about new life. And it's all happening through the incredible people that live here. They're making a difference, one meaningful act at a time. And that's not just an Astoria story, is it? It's a common thread intertwined through every thriving community around the world. Whether it's a small town or a big city, it's powered by its people. Folks dedicated to putting good out into the world. Now, what do you want to cook? We're bringing these stories right into my kitchen. This show is about connecting with the heart of the community, no matter where you are. We'll cook dishes that tell a story. We'll explore how these guests are making a difference. And we'll discover together why these moments of connection are so vital in today's world. It's a cooking show, a talk show, and a celebration of good people. So, what do you want to cook? And what stories do you want to tell? All right, everybody. Woohoo! I think all the viewers want to know how we made this dish, so we're going to show them. All right. On this episode of What Do You Want to Cook? You got to see us eat it. And we had just a wonderful conversation about veteran suicide prevention and things like that. You guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been awesome. Now let's make some food.
Yeah.
Love to.
We are shooting this backwards, so magic of television. That's exciting stuff. So we appreciate you guys coming on. So I'm here in the kitchen with the we're going to call semi-professional chefs. Brad, Matt, and Sean. And we're going to make a dish for you. If you are enjoying our content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, it doesn't cost you a thing. It's free. Share with your friends. Tell everybody no. We appreciate it very much. Let's share all this content with everybody. I think these are important stories to tell. And thanks for watching the show. We got a couple of things we're going to do. All right, now we're going to start with we're going to put the lamb on a stick. All right, so that's what it was. Lemongrass. These are make ideal, and it kind of scents the inside of the lamb, right, when we're cooking. It's super delicious. We're going to grill it. All right. So we'll kind of undo a few of these, and we're going to cut them the appropriate length. And I'm going to leave that to one of you guys to do. But let me do a quick little demo. Maybe just cut it right about here. Okay. All right. So somebody can do that. Just kind of make them similar.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to make the lamb into a ball. We're going to go like that. Squeeze them on there. It'll make them like longer like that, and we'll put them right on the grill. We'll just grill them right on there. So when we're done, as you saw, we're going to put it right onto the pita. Just pull it off. Put the sauce on. Put the cabbage on. Put some tomato on. That sound good? All right.
Awesome.
You're right here.
I'm this guy.
I'm going to move this way. All right, so Matt, this is your lamb. You grew
Yes.
this yourself. And by the way, health department, we're not selling it. So whatever.
Hey, my wife's a veterinarian. It's fine. It's
Wife's
veterinarian raised.
It's veterinarian raised.
It was
Well,
very healthy
he
lamb.
gave me a
Officially
shank and some
FDA
other.
approved now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me a shank and some other ground beef, and I cooked it. It was amazing. I love it. I just put it
Yeah.
however I could cook it. I'm going to try to this next time.
He was a man of few words when I called him and invited him on the show, except for talking about bringing you guys on the show.
Yeah, have you ever had more than one person?
No, it's a little tight in here, but it's good. I feel like I'm in a culinary sleeping bag.
Oh no!
Is that
What
weird?
I would say
Not
a fire team,
A fire
because that's
team.
how
Okay,
that's how
that's
we, yeah,
about
that's
a
how,
fire
that's how we
team.
rock. Yeah.
We're on a fire team. So we got the lamb. It's ground. So the only thing Matt said to me when I called, he's like, well, he said, I was thinking about what we'd do if you ever called me. So I'm going to get a grinder or whatever. So we're going to do some lamb, or I'll call you back. It was something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
When he told me about this, I said we should do chili mac because it's the worst MRE.
yeah.
I like the chili
I'm glad
mac.
he talked me out of
He
it.
said something about that, and I distracted him.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
subtly distracted him, like immediately. Like,
We could have just brought in MREs.
We could do chili mac, or anyway,
Something
right.
good.
Yeah. What we're going to do, we have about, this is a lot. We're probably not going to cook all this like right now, but we'll make enough for us to eat a few minutes from now. I don't know, how is the show shot? It doesn't matter.
Backwards.
Shot backwards. All right. And then the rest we can put together. You guys take it home, eat it, do what you want. All right? Sound good? So this is what, 3 pounds?
3 pounds.
All right. So what's going to do, we're just going to do that. Let's put it into a bowl.
You grind that today?
I did. So it's shoulder and front shank. So I actually butchered the lamb myself.
Yeah.
Pulled it out today, did like a partial freeze, and ran it through the grinder. And I've learned how to be a little bit of a semi-pro butcher thanks to my neighbor, Shelley. So
You're gonna be able to
she does that for her hobby.
Be able to buff the grid.
Yeah, when the grade goes down, I'm going there.
Yeah, go to his. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. That's what I'm
Well, when
saying.
you have 4 kids, it helps to live off the grid a little.
Yeah, I bet. In here, what I was thinking, I have some spices, coriander, cumin, all right, black pepper, and then since we're shooting this in the fall here in Astoria, Oregon, in the Pacific Northwest, this is chanterelle mushroom salt. We'll add a little earthy, maybe, dare I say, I don't like using the word umami, but I just used it just now, so there you go. Anyway, so I think we're safe with just like, we'll put all these in there.
Can I smell the coriander?
Oh, yeah,
I've
yeah.
never even used it as a
Yeah,
spice
yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
That
I
chanterelle
know-
salt.
I know cumin.
Yeah.
I love using that at home. It's
Is that
amazing
what
like
you
that.
have over here?
I can't
Yeah,
really tell. I
chanterelle
love
salt.
cumin, but yeah.
There you
want
go.
Okay.
Coriander.
Yeah, these are just spices. I got these in the bulk
mixed
bin
them up.
at the co-op. You can buy as much as
Oh,
you want,
yeah.
right? All the ingredients except for Matt's lamb come from the Astoria Co-op. As you know, I can't say enough good things about the Astoria Co-op. So thank you again, Astoria Co-op. And Christian over there, the produce guy, scored us all these lemongrass sticks. So appreciate that. These are perfect. You might have like a hand picked or something.
I love them because they always remind me what my co-op number is, and they don't get impatient about that.
You know, it's funny.
I cannot remember.
I always forget mine too.
Yeah.
It's
So they're
like,
fun.
we got to look it up.
Yeah, you might be into 5 digits at this point, right? So it makes it a little more complicated. Okay, so we're going to take all these spices, the salt, etc. We're going to dump it all in the bowl. Matt, you
Yes.
are in charge of that. And we're going to do that.
Start cutting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll start cutting
So,
now.
and then if you
Charge of
want
the
to
spices.
use gloves, I have gloves. Lamb gets pretty sticky.
It does.
All right, so there's gloves back there. Yeah, you're going to chuck them all in there. You're going to mix it up really, really well. All right. Now, all right. So, I think I probably ought to.
This
I
knife's
probably
amazing.
should ought to get another knife. You're going to do a couple of.
See this thing?
Those are amazing knives. I love the feel of the
You're
handle.
going to do a couple of small.
It's all in the wrist.
Oh, I have a paring knife too.
Look at you. Yeah.
It's all in the wrist.
All right, there we go.
It's tight here. It's working out. I feel like I'm orchestrating the whole situation. This is good. All right. Okay, we're going to do this cabbage. I think you're all right. Just right here.
All right.
Okay. Do this cabbage. You're just gonna. We don't need it all. Maybe we're gonna take. We do like a quarter of it, okay? And we'll use the rest like later. We can send it home, make part of the rest of the meal for later with the family or whatever. We'll cut it in quarter. We'll cut it in half. Cut it in a quarter, and then we're just gonna shred it all
Heck
up.
yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so there's that. You're on that. Perfect. All right, how's it going?
That goes there.
That's great.
This smells really good. I'm excited. I'm kind of having. Gosh. But I think it's fine. It sounds like story time. What's the craziest thing you ever ate while? What's the craziest thing you ever ate, or I guess were offered?
All right, so I got one.
While on deployment.
I got one. I don't know the answer to that.
Besides the chili
Yeah.
mac, that's already weird enough.
I don't know what the answer is to that, but I'll tell you the story. So we're walking through Baghdad, and we're doing a move into contact because they're having new elections, and we want to make sure that no mortar people set up to bomb the only federal building that was still up, which happened to be the agricultural building. And we're walking through the Baghdad Zoo, and we smell somebody cooking something. And we get over there, and the guy's like, "You want a burger?" All right. So I'm talking to him while he's cooking, and he's saying, "I'm the guy who's in charge of the zoo, and the war started. Everybody left, and I love these animals so much that I didn't want to leave them here. But it's been months, and I ran out of food for the big guys, so I had to feed the plant eaters to the meat eaters, and I ran out of plant eaters." And I'm thinking, as I'm eating this burger, there's no cows in Baghdad. I have no idea what it was we were eating. But it tasted good.
Well, we didn't see any cows.
Yeah. What do you hope it was?
There's a big Mickey
I think it was a hippopotamus. It tastes a little gamey and a little fishy.
I like the bite and the crunch of raw cabbage.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
100% good all by itself. That sauce is going to go on there, etc. All right. Okay. Now, we have. Okay, you're going to go just little cubes. They're like diced, right? So
Chris, why is it yellow?
because it's extra special.
Okay. That's a beautiful
This is an
tomato.
heirloom- This is an heirloom tomato.
It belonged to your grandmother? From the
Yeah.
Astoria Co-op.
It belonged to my grandmother. No, here, try this. That'll be unreal.
Oh, I need to have some of that. Yeah. That is
These are
good.
real. Those are delicious.
Mhm.
Okay, so somewhere in that vicinity, there's
I
not
just
much
put
of a core.
sunshine in
You
my
can
mouth.
Just kind of cut that out after. There's not really much.
Put it
Yeah,
in
so
here.
that bowl's fine. All right. Okay, next. We're done with all that. We need to put meat on sticks. All right.
Meat on sticks.
here's
I got the
deal.
sticks.
Here's the deal. I'm going to put gloves on because this
I have to get more gloves.
lamb
Find
is,
out.
lamb is so
There's room for two of you
so
there.
sticky.
Aromatic.
Yeah, right. And if you almost need to pre-wash your dishes before washing your dishes. It leaves a residue. It's like the residue stays on the plate like
It does.
for days, right? Okay.
It's very
So
rich.
here's the deal. We're going to take a ball. What do you think? Maybe I'm just guessing. You don't have to weigh it. Let's take a ball like this is probably legit. This is probably like 2 ounces ish, somewhere in there. Okay.
It's like an ice cream scoop.
It's like an ice cream scoop. You probably that'd be interesting. Put on
Meat.
We can have a meat cone.
I used to work at a fast food restaurant in Nebraska, and
Oh, that was good.
we had to portion all the meat out with an ice cream scoop there.
Check it out.
It's a good story.
What we're gonna do, just like that. That's a great story. What else you got? Tell me
That's
the
awesome.
craziest. Brad,
Well-
what's the craziest thing you've ever ate while on deployment? MREs are included.
Oh, I was one of the guys that was in support more,
Yeah.
and I didn't leave the installation as much. You'd call me a FOBIT for a forward operating base.
Okay.
And I ate most of my food from a short order cook line. So every day for breakfast, I'd have my coffee with an omelet that got made for me right in front of me with cheese, ham, jalapenos, fresh salsa, and fresh pineapple. It was rough. Some
How's the
days
coffee?
that's where I learned to drink coffee, and I've become a coffee snob since. But I think I was in recovery from what I started on.
Yeah. Do it. Stout.
This
Awesome.
one's the smallest.
You know, the best MREs though are actually the vegetarian. Well, at least when we were in,
they
were
got
the vegetarian
candy.
ones. Yeah. Well, they just tasted better.
I think the worst one was the jambalaya. The shrimp jambalaya.
You weren't in
I'm
as
sorry,
long as I was in, man. I came in '93. They still had those old Cold War MREs, and they would have something called egg loaf, and it was just it was just a block of egg with little sausages in it.
Here.
And then they had this.
Charge of handy
We
news
called
to
it.
you.
It was like a cardboard bar, no, sawdust bar, and you'd have to take a little bite and drink water, or else your mouth.
Talking about the Ranger cookies?
Is that what you called it? I don't know. I called it a sawdust bar.
Let's do like 8 of those.
I remember opening up a ham slice. And, I was a private at the time, so here I am learning how to do all this stuff, right? I'm opening up this ham slice MRE, and
Ham slice.
Salt.
Here you
I think
go.
it was my team leader.
I'm the stick
We're
hander.
about ready to go out on the weekend into Dunforest, the new train for the weekend. Dude, when I popped that thing open, ham juice went everywhere.
And then you
All
smell
over
like
his ears.
Oh no!
you
Not
smell like
mine, all
you
over
smell
his
like
ears.
MRE ham juice though.
The whole weekend. My team leader did. So I kind of got the brunt of that one, deservedly. But
I'm guessing that he didn't forget that.
No. So I have another story about good food in wartime. So we're in the war. It's 2004, and these Texas ranchers like, hey, we want to do something for our boys. So we're going to send them over an extra special package. They sent us all over these ribeyes and New York steaks, but our cooks were contracted out of the Philippines, and they didn't really make that connection. So what they did is they diced up the ribeyes and put it in rice. And we're like, where's our ribeyes? It was good rice.
I bet.
With nice tender beef.
what was your best meal?
Oh, man.
'Cause I definitely remember mine.
You know, some of the best meals were just with you guys out in the field, when we were, because
Yeah.
when we were over there, so Z and I
No.
were in Iraq together, and he got a Silver Star for pulling me out of Humvee that after we got blown up. He went back and got all of our equipment and radio stuff out of there, and they made him into an action figure. I know he doesn't brag about this, but the Oregon National Guard turned him into an action figure.
Actually, right up there.
I
on
wonder if we couldn't get that action figure brought over to look at. I know someone that could pick it up for us. Let's ask the producer if she can go pick that up so we can show everybody the action figure.
Oh, he was a comic book character. It was so funny because in the comic book, it did not happen like that. In the
Not
comic
at
book,
all.
he kind of flipped the Humvee off of us and threw me over his shoulder and ran off.
That's 8.
And then he was also a video game character for the Oregon National Guard, right? You were
America's Army video game.
Oh, I
It was
played
ranked
that.
in the top 10 online plays for like almost a decade.
It-
But it came out in 2006. I was assistant instructor over at Camp Buckner at West Point. And so they found me out in the field helping train these cadets. They're like, we're making a video game and action figures. I'm like, what is this?
So I actually helped test that game when I was in officer candidate school.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No.
And yeah, they're there and they're just like, what do you think of it? And I was like, this guy right here, the Zedwick one, we might want to clean that up a little bit.
Look what we found.
No, that's true. I got to
Hanging
see
on the
it.
wall. That's it right there. Look at that, guys. It's a
Well, okay, so the big lie here is that's
Oh, yeah.
my shotgun, and he did not ever carry it.
That's
I
true.
carried that shotgun.
interesting. Staff Sergeant
I
Matt
ended up
Zedwick,
carrying it.
Yeah.
Silver Star. That's fantastic. That's amazing, man.
That was the first Silver Star in
That was-
Oregon since World War II. Pretty awesome.
You and I got our Purple Hearts same day.
Same day. Well, I got mine for getting blown up. He got his because when the secondary explosion went off, he covered me with his own body to block from shrapnel. So, pretty awesome.
Let's talk more about that. Who's grilling?
All right.
The
Let's go.
ambidextrous one.
All right, check it out. Yeah, so these are ready. These are ready to go. So you can just put them right. Just line them all up.
Oh, dude, that looks awesome.
Like little meat lollipops.
Meat lollipop. I for one, think there should be more.
Send it right into here.
More meat on sticks.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I think there should be more meat on sticks. And
Take a moment and preach on
I
that.
think the world's
I'm
missing
on
out
board.
by trying to eat everything with forks.
Oh, I
Look at that.
know.
We're going to get our up close and personal view. We'll try not to melt the GoPro.
Oh man, that looks amazing.
That's what they built it for, right?
Yeah. I
Oh,
dropped
that
mine in
smells
Clear
really
Lake.
good. Mouth is starting to water.
Mine too.
He's getting an up close shot.
Yeah, this is amazing. Hey, everywhere we go, like all the other countries, I love eating the food how they eat it. Like a lot of bread, flatbread, naan, tortilla chips. I don't know. I don't like using forks and spoons.
It's just more efficient, right?
It is.
I think
Everything
it's
you
more
put in your mouth, you're eating.
That's right.
Well, fingers more accessible too.
I do like. I am a fan of chopsticks. So I have to.
Oh yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
say that.
Well, for a long time when we were outside the wire, what we would do is just get some Iraqi kid to come over. I'd give them $5 and just say, hey, have your mom cook us something. And they would come back with all kinds of things. A lot of it was really, really good.
You scored us some amazing chicken that
Yeah. Yeah, by the bridge. Case's family. Yeah.
That was
Was
good.
Case. That's I try to say it.
And
his
it
way.
was my first falafel. That was my
Oh!
very first experience.
They
with
put the
falafel.
little pieces of lamb fat in the middle of these falafels, and I've never been able to find anybody else who did that. It was just so good. You know?
Lamb fat in the falafel.
Now we have some more.
And we got lamb fat in the lamb fat. Here we gotta let that.
Oh, now I
We
smell
gotta let it rip for a minute. So the deal is, you guys, you probably know this, but it should, when it freely releases from the grill, it's time to turn it. It's still kind of stuck there. It's not ready yet.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So that'll be yeah. So it might take a minute here. And I haven't actually tried this before, so it could take half an hour. I don't really know.
Well, I got more stories.
I got the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Try more. Can have some more
That
stories.
you do.
No, I was trying to think about my favorite meal, and it was probably that chicken by the bridge. And they
That's
came out.
pretty good.
And these guys, you know, those families, they don't eat much. And for them to actually slaughter a chicken for us was really cool. And they were awesome. It's a good family. A lot of good people over there.
It was cool because it wasn't only in the food, and that's what I love about food is also that you helped us build like amazing rapport with the local community. And
Yeah.
that family specifically.
Well, it took being able to speak Arabic. You know, I wasn't able to speak it fluently, but like a kid, because I read it. Before we went over, I bought the Complete Idiot's Guide to Iraq and Arabic book. And then I learned Arabic for like 6 months, and I was like learning Egyptian Arabic, which is like speaking, you know, Queen's English in Tennessee or something. So I had to relearn it over again. But yeah, just to communicate. And then eating food is like a big communication in a way, you know, just sitting down and eating food with a family. It's really cool.
You, I think it's amazing you felt like comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
random strangers in a faraway land.
Yeah, some people are like, what are you going to do? What if they poison you? I'm like, you're going to shoot at me? Poison? I don't know. They were nice. I mean, those were not the bad guys, you know,
Yeah.
when I was talking to. So it was really cool. It's good people.
So my best meal I've ever had in my life, I think, was in Iraq also, now that I reflect on it a little bit.
Yeah?
It was, I was promoted to captain, and my platoon sergeant and I went to not the dining facility, but to the PX, and we got all the Bubba burgers that they had.
What's a Bubba
It's like
burger?
pre-made burgers.
And
we grilled them out.
Was it White Star? No,
White Castle?
White Castle. Yes, like White
No,
Castle.
these are like they were. I mean,
They're
considering
Bubbas. They're
we're in
Bubba
Iraq,
size.
they're not that bad. So we grilled that out, but my motor sergeant made out a engineer castle spatula. So the entire company had a grilled engineer castle on their burgers.
The insignia for the...
And then afterwards, they promoted me, and the same
Because
motor
you're
sergeant.
Bubba burgers?
Because you're Bubba Burgers.
Yeah,
See, the effort-
and then afterwards, my
effort that
motor
you
sergeant
put
broke
out-
3 ribs on me We don't haze in the Army.
Oh no! Well, don't make Bubba burgers, man.
Oh, they were so good.
Just trying to give him a company tattoo, sir.
I'll tell you what, you guys hang on one second. It's time now. I think the best approach is going to be to kind of roll it like that.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Okay?
All
If you
right.
try to pull it up, it might fall off.
Got
So
it.
let me do one more. Like, just kind of roll it over.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
you're
that this
You're
one's easy to roll.
Yeah, super nice.
That smells so good.
Oh yeah.
It's the same for a lot of stuff when you're grilling it. Number one thing to know is that have a clean grill,
Mm-hmm.
brushed off, clean, spray it or oil it before you start cooking on it. But just about any protein, including salmon, should release freely from the grill when it's ready to turn. Yeah. It's the cooking tip of the day, by the way. Cooking tip of the day.
You
That
should
was a
have
good
graphics that pop up. Cookie tip of the day.
I know a
good idea.
graphics guy.
You know a graphics guy?
Oh, he read a book.
That's
I
good.
read a book.
Tell me about like on that adventure. I want to talk about more of the mission here in a few minutes, but
Sure.
on that adventure that you had together
Twice.
twice
Mhm.
over 2 years, multiple
Mhm.
times. Tell me about like I don't know. I'm curious about like things that you came across.
Well, we drove 4,000 miles around the state of Oregon to as many rural places as we can because I know we'll talk about it a little bit, but Oregon has been consistently in the top 5 of all states for veteran suicide in rural areas. So we decided, like, we're going to go out and figure out why. We jumped in his Bronco with some cameras, and we drove. And we talked to lawmakers. We talked to Senator Merkley. We talked to mayors of towns. We talked to veterans, especially, and community leaders. But, yeah, we had a lot of fun and went to a lot of different places. Everywhere we go, there's just such amazing places, you know, and people to talk to. It was really awesome.
I returned to one of the places just this last weekend and ate with Dale, our friend that's a Vietnam veteran. We went to the
Oh, that place, you had steaks there, too.
Yes, the Something Fox in Silverton.
There's a lot of
I'm plugging them.
Bigfoot-themed restaurants in
Maybe it
rural
was the
Oregon.
Silver Fox.
Silver Fox, maybe.
It's the Silverton.
I don't.
I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
that. Oh man. Well, you can cut out the name.
You're kind of a Silver Fox.
Hey, we got it.
I'm working
You're
on
getting
it.
there.
I'm
Oh,
working
yeah.
on it. I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Yeah. What are
I'm-
friends for?
I'm well on my way to being my own little Anderson Cooper. When it comes to silver foxing, he wins.
Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna put one of these together so we can show the viewer how awesome this turns out. But first, we didn't talk about the secret sauce,
Oh.
which is
The secret
I'm gonna
sauce.
go ahead and call it Tzatziki, but we're gonna call it Chef Holen Special Tzatziki. I don't know. It's made with extra love and care. Let me tell you how we made it. All right. So this is made with full fat Greek yogurt. You could do low fat if you want, but full fat Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
You want to get you want to get this outcome? I wish we had taste of vision, smell of vision. You know what I'm
Smell
saying?
of it.
Oh, yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
smell that?
Extra
Oh, man,
dank.
it's
It's dank.
Extra dank, yeah. I appreciate the humor on that.
Or the
All right.
donk.
So, what we did is we shredded a cucumber, an English cucumber, a whole English cucumber. So here's the recipe if you're ready. Pay attention because I'm not going to type it across the screen. A whole English cucumber shredded, lightly salted with a little bit of flake sea salt. I put it into a strainer over a bowl and let it sit for about 20 minutes. What happens? That salt helps pull the excess moisture out of the cucumber. It intensifies the flavor of the cucumber, and then you don't end up with a soupy sauce, right? After that, we squeezed it into the bowl. All right. I used a half of a lemon, so cut in half, squeezed half of the lemon in there, cut up some dill, and then some raw garlic, and then of course, as you do, I seasoned it with my good friend here, Chef Daddy Savory Blend Salt. I know where you can get some.
Stuff's really
Where
easy,
is
by
that?
the way.
Yeah. You ready for that?
Where can you
There
get
it is.
some?
Enhancing life's flavor. You can find this on, right, there's a link on the YouTube page.
I'll
If you're in
follow it.
Astoria, you can just call us up and say, I need to get some of that. Have a couple of retailers that carry it as well. Anyway, a little bit of Chef Daddy in there, season it up. I just used a whisk, folded it all together, and it turned out as a wonderful sauce, all right? So what we're going to do...
So I got in my time machine and I already tasted it. And I gotta say, it's just like you said, it's dank.
Donk.
Donk?
So just pick up, we're going to stack those up on there. Nice. Woohoo! All right. We're getting the bitter end.
Wow.
Sean is... Look at
Oh my
that.
gosh.
They just come right up. Meat on sticks. Yes. Again, I believe we're all in agreement about having meat on sticks. Look at that plate.
That is beautiful.
He's got a pretty happy look.
Yeah. I want to eat them all. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right, be right back. All right, here's the deal. We are just going to we're going to quickly grill a pita. All right? Well, quickly. Well, as long as it takes, I guess. We're going to put some meat on it. We're going to put a little cabbage in there. We're going to put a little of this. We've got this wonderful heirloom tomato, right? And we got our Tzatziki sauce. Look at that. It's not soupy at all.
Dude, this is awesome.
We got to get it right there. See, not soupy.
I love that tip with the salt that you gave us.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's, okay. Oh, yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Is it true all chefs have asbestos fingers? Yes, it is. I was feeling hot just trying to get them off of the thing.
I didn't turn the whole grill on, though. That'd be raging in here. All right. Now, we're just going to put a little bit of cabbage. Right? We got to put, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. Let's put the GoPro on it so we can see everything that's happening. Oh, perfect. Look at that.
It's an action shot.
It's an action shot. Okay, a little bit of cabbage. And again, I just personally, I like it raw. I'm going to put a little bit of this heirloom tomato. Okay, that's beautiful. We're
That's
gonna
good color.
And then you're going to just take a skewer like that. Pick up your pita. Pull it off. A little bit of sauce. Huh? You could turn this into the new Brown's meat lamb feed. It'd be all right. That's it.
Oh,
Boom.
man.
What do you
That
think
looks
about
amazing.
That looks amazing.
that? I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm pretty hungry.
I know, me too.
I'm pretty hungry too. I think we should sit down and eat these. Yeah, just real quick. Folks, if you're enjoying our content, we appreciate it very much that you're watching. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. Share away. We want to share the stories of all the good things that people are doing out there in the world, around the state of Oregon, around our community, and around the country. Watch the show. Be inspired. Learn a few things about your brothers and sisters, right? We're going to go sit down and eat this guy. Of course, most importantly, thanks you guys for coming on the show today, Brad.
Thank you.
Matt,
Thank you, Chris.
Sean,
Oh, thank you so much.
thanks for coming on the show, and of course, thank you for your service.
Thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And we hope you enjoy. What do you want to cook? What's up, bro? Yeah, do that? All right. That was good. What's up,
That was
You guys stay here. You may. I'm going to streamline that can.
In one moment you can have it all, and in the next you
does the
might
editing?
trip and fall.
Who does the editing?
That's what happened to me. I thought that I won and I had it made. In the front of my mind this was
admit,
the
I
right
thought you were over
thing.
there. I feel
I was lost as I could
Look at that
be.
plate.
I was trying to fight and win back my
I
soul.
want to eat them all.
Yeah, right.
When I looked at my heart, all I
love that
saw
kit.
was a
GoPro on it.
hole. It was lonely, it was hard, and it was dark as it could be. Oh, but it was turning pain into purposeful. Said it was turning pain into
Up close shot.
Yeah, it's amazing.